Hi guys, so I wanted to show you this video. It's from Janine Freeman, who's a member of the Scottish Parliament and also the Cabinet Secretary for Health in Scotland. And she's going to explain the difference in supply chains and how PPEs arrive between Scotland and the rest of the UK. So let's hear what she had to say.
Certainly we regret the fact that the UK government did not take part in the first European round of PPE procurement and said so at the time. My understanding is that they are now engaged in that, and that would certainly be what we would encourage them to do. We have raised a very specific issue with the Secretary of State, Matt Hancock, and that is around a decision that was taken with respect to the overseas network, where, if you forgive me, yes, it's the Department of International Trade Overseas Network and the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, where advice was issued not to support new procurement asks from devolved administrations. Now, myself, our colleagues in Wales and in Northern Ireland all raised concerns with Mr. Hancock about that, because actually PPE procurement is a devolved matter, and where we cooperate at a UK level, that is a voluntary cooperation. And so as part of the UK, those Department of Trade overseas networks should be supporting the devolved administrations. We've yet to have a final response to that. He did undertake to go away and look at it, but certainly where we are looking to source new overseas supply chains or have existing supply chains where there might be glitches, have those glitches resolved, we do look to the Department of International Trade's overseas network to assist us. And so having that assistance withdrawn will cause us some problems, and we need to have that matter resolved, as well as encouraging the UK government to continue to participate in the European Union-wide procurement exercise. The final point I want to make is just to be clear on that distinction. So we have in Scotland, as I've said today and many times, a network of suppliers, supply chains, a distribution network, which we've obviously expanded considerably for Scotland, as do Wales and Northern Ireland. When we come together, and indeed NHS in England, when we choose voluntarily to come together at a UK level, that is in addition to those individual nation-owned approaches and supply chains and networks and so on. And that is in order to provide additional assurance, but also at times in a globally competitive market, it would make sense, I'm sure, to everybody to understand that the larger volume you can offer, then the better your opportunity, not only of securing that supply, but securing it at a reasonable price. And of course, as others have mentioned before, one of the issues around currently is where some suppliers are choosing to use the current pressure on supply to increase their prices considerably. A regrettable position on their part, but one that we have to try and work with and take whatever mitigating actions we can against it.
Okay, so that's very interesting, and it raises a number of different questions. But first of all, what the hell is Matt Hancock playing at? That he has told the International Trade and Commonwealth Office to not allow devolved parliaments access to PPE procurement. Why is he doing that? So I'm speculating here. Anything I'm going to say is speculation, of course. But is it the Brexit mentality? Is it because the majority of these devolved parliaments voted against Brexit? Is it an attempt to control them in some way, to punish them in some way, because they are, in a way, showing up the government? They're trying to do something and the government don't want them to do it? Is it an attempt to protect the government's reputation, to save face for the government and the Tory party? Is this a way to punish, in particular, Scotland because of its ambitions for independence? What is happening here? Why are they doing this? Instructing the Commonwealth Office, the International Trade and Commonwealth Office, not to allow these devolved parliaments to seek PPEs. Is it an attempt to save NHS England instead? Because maybe there's a limited supply, of course, of PPEs, and they don't want these devolved parliaments to get their hands on them, and they want to keep them for NHS England. Well, this would not be fair, because every part of the UK should be treated equally, should it not? Isn't that the whole point of being a union? So, is it an attempt to punish the devolved parliaments? Is it an attempt to keep PPEs for themselves? Is this an attempt to protect the government from the embarrassment that they have conducted until now? Is it an attempt to avoid, for example, Scotland in this case, from doing well because it would show up how badly the rest of the UK has fared in this situation? Or could it be another possibility? Could it be corruption? That Matt Hancock's department will decide who will supply these PPEs. And it is interesting because there were a number of cases of companies who were ready to supply the NHS with PPEs. There was a video, I don't know if I uploaded it, but I saw a video on YouTube not that long ago, where there's a company in the UK, in England, that produces the material for gowns that are necessary in the production of these PPEs. And they were ready to produce 10,000 a day. They had sent out feelers to the Department of Health, the NHS England, and they received no response. While in the news, every day there was the news of there aren't enough PPEs available. This company was ready to produce them. They asked the department, do you need us to produce them? We're ready to produce them. And they received no response. While at the same time, that company decided, because they didn't receive a response, they would look to supply to someone else. Who was that someone else? It was the United States. The state of New York made a request, and they started producing PPEs for the state of New York, not for the NHS. So why is that the case? While at the same time there was a shortage of PPEs. At the same time, Matt Hancock was promising PPEs would be available. They were sending planes to Turkey to pick up PPEs. Something is very fishy. Something very fishy is going on. Once again, is this an attempt to protect the government from some type of embarrassment? Is this a political choice to shame, in a sense, the devolved parliaments because of the decisions, because of their support of the European Union? Or is this once again an attempt to punish Scotland, and in particular, of course, the SNP, who are the government in Scotland, who want independence? Is this an attempt to punish them into renouncing independence some way, showing that it's necessary to be part of the UK? It will be the UK government that will decide the procurement of PPEs, when in reality it's something that is devolved, as she has said, to the devolved powers, to the devolved government, sorry. Is it an attempt to punish the SNP here? If this is the case, this is disgusting. You're willing to throw Northern Ireland, Wales and Scotland under a bus over this issue of PPEs in order just to punish the SNP. It might sound outlandish, but I don't think it's that far from a possibility. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks. Why not become a Patreon and enjoy access to our Discord server where we share news, chat, and have some fun? If you become a patron, you can also make video suggestions on topics that are important to you. Check it out via the link in the description.